It's an abbreviated episode of the Arkansas AgCast, but we still promise to bring you some good information right here on today's episode.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
Well, it's Thursday. You've got a few members. I was going to say 2/3, but then I'd offend Matthew. Last week I said your two favorite buddies, and you're like, wait a minute. So I'm done with counting. I'll just say we're a person short.
That's right. We are. Wait, was that a height joke?
Well, I was wondering if you just showed Mac the trivia questions for today. And
he may have run scared. You know, that's
he forgot his jacket. That's why he's not in here.
It could be. Man, it's too cold. I'm turning away.
Oh man, no, we are since Matt couldn't be with us today. I can assure you, his family was safe from the storm, but he was not able to be with us today. And in light of that, we are going to run a little bit shorter show than normal. Frankly, you don't want to hear me talk for the period of time that we usually record this show. So, yeah, we'll keep it brief today. You doing okay, Brian?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Thank you.
Matthew, welcome back. I know you don't have a microphone, but I will tell you welcome back. We have been exercising some of the feedback you gave us on the way out the door, where we no longer dance or play air instruments. During the intro of the show, we have been talking and laughing, and then today I'm left with nobody to talk to. So, thanks, Brian, for filling that.
Yeah,
in.
you bet. I guess we could have given Matthew a microphone if he wanted one, but I don't think he really wanted it.
He doesn't. He doesn't. I don't think so. Anyway, for those of you who may not have seen or heard, or just as a reminder, maybe. Here in Little Rock, we experienced an EF3 tornado, which touched down last Friday afternoon. I will say very close to our our state office here.
Pretty much you could see it go by. I mean, it was, it got real hairy here for a while.
Out on Canis and Shackelford. So, I happened to have left for an appointment and went home to be my girls because school got let out early and had a pretty stressful afternoon.
Sure.
I was reading some information from NASA yesterday. The Little Rock tornado moved nearly 32 miles. And then we had another storm sometime after in Wynn that's also thought to be an EF3. So both of those storms similar in size. Yeah. And I'll just tell you that it's awful destruction and loss.
My wife and I went out trying to see some folks from church and trying to help. And one of the individuals that we spoke to, she had actually lived through the last big one.
Big one,
and was, still kind of reeling from that, just feeling it got super close to her house again. So, it's impacted a lot of people, and our hearts go out to them.
Yeah,
so
definitely. I have not seen the numbers on Little Rock, but I know I read that Wynn had 91 homes destroyed, and 83 damaged. And just as a note, if you were impacted by the storm, the IRS has announced tax relief for storm victims here in Arkansas. I believe the tax deadline was April 18th for everyone here in the country. That deadline has been extended to July 31st of this year, and that's for those folks in Cross County, Lone Oak County, Pulaski County. You'll be the ones who qualify based on the impact of the tornadoes. This new deadline also applies to quarterly estimated tax payments, quarterly payroll, and excise tax returns. So certainly we're not financial advisors here. You'll want to check with your local accountant, but that is pulled directly from a notice that came from the IRS, and we wanted to share that information.
It's good news.
Yeah. Something we've talked about a little bit, and as we make our way back to the subject of agriculture here, planting progress, we've sort of joked has taken a really slow start. Here we are. It's Easter weekend this weekend, and things are slow to be moving.
Yeah.
Corn did take an uptake. I think 2 weeks ago we were at 1% planted. Last week we joked that we had doubled to 2%. This as of Tuesday this week, was at 7%.
Wow!
I don't know what the rain. We're recording this on Wednesday because Brian and I have a meeting tomorrow, and weren't able. But we're recording this on Wednesday. And, obviously some more rain and storms have moved through the state today and last night. So I don't know what that does to impacts. But anyhow, corn is up to 7%. So a big jump from last week. Still slow going. I want to note that, but an increase. Moving on, rice is up to 2%. I think they also hit the board last week at 1%. So we've seen an increase in rice planting, and then soybeans are on the board at 2%. So 7% for corn, 2% respectively for rice and soybeans on the planting progress. We'll continue to monitor that.
Yeah.
Mac predicted that we're going to start seeing that tick up quickly, and certainly hope that's the case.
I know we had heard in a few areas where some had to replant some because, they lost it due to the weather dipping down a little too low after they had initially planted. But another thing I wanted to point out, we're still continuing to try to get out updates on different commodities videos, and we're trying to post those as we get them. And so I think there's another one going out later this afternoon.
I saw cotton go.
Cotton did go
this morning.
Yes.
So we will have an update on each of the row crop. Thank you for that. Yeah. I should have had that in my notes, but
you bet.
But yeah, so we'll have sort of the outlook on planting season.
Yes.
Hopefully, for each of the row crops.
Hopefully fully covered by the time. I know we're still working on a couple of stories, but yeah.
Yeah. There. All right. Well, that said, let's jump right into this week's legislative update. I can tell you it's packed.
Man, it's been a busy week. Yeah. Very busy week.
Absolutely. I've spent a lot of time this week with headphones that look just like this on my ears, watching and listening to committee hearings and floor sessions and things like that. So let's just kick this off. So Senate Bill 324 went before the House today, and in the next step of its legislative process, and passed. So this is the bill, if you need a refresher, that would address the health benefit needs, especially for young farmers and ranchers. And again, this is a bill that we've been spending a lot of time discussing. So good news there today. Senate Bill 506, which would transfer agriculture promotion boards to the Department of Agriculture, did not make it out of the House Ag Committee this morning. So we'll certainly continue to watch that and provide updates as needed. I'll also touch on House Bill 1843, a bill that would address the appointment process for checkoff boards, but allows each checkoff board to choose their own administrator rather than taking the administration function away from Farm Bureau. That bill did pass out of the House Ag Committee this morning and should receive a vote on the House floor potentially this afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Wednesday. Again, I feel like I need to keep saying that.
Yeah, right.
Because you're going to hear this on Thursday. SB 499 regarding the Rice Promotion Board and assessments also went before the Senate floor on Tuesday. It was postponed. I hear there's an amendment or two made to that, and it should come back. But I'm unaware of the timing on that.
Okay.
Quick rundown on several other bills that are on Farm Bureau's priority list. HB 1003 is on the deferred list as of April 3rd, HB 1662, which was referred to the Senate Ag Committee on March 31st. HB 1677 was also referred to the Senate Ag Committee on the 31st. HB 1680 was added to the deferred list by the House Revenue and Taxation Committee on April 3rd. Finally, HB 1548 was referred to the Senate Transportation Committee on March 31st. All right, for a breath. Just a note here, we will do our best to keep up on this news as it happens, as Brian and I try to convey today. As the session winds down, it's impossible to track every bill of importance to our members here on the show each week.
Sure.
We had written into the script that one of these bills had a certain status. Since we've started recording, that status has changed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really is moving that quickly.
All the more reason why you should sign up and follow the legislative updates, because it does address all those so you can keep up with them, because we can't cover it all in here.
Excellent point.
So.
And Stanley, look for a bonus from Stanley.
He just, texted me. So.
Anyhow, that process is, as we've tried to make clear, is moving very quickly. There are hundreds of bills moving right now as we speak. All right, let's take a short break from the news to hear a bit about the foundation and the role it plays in Arkansas.
At the heart of Arkansas are its farm families. The Arkansas Farm Bureau Foundation works to provide financial support to rural communities. Since its creation, the foundation has donated more than $1.5 million to community disaster assistance, Ag in the Classroom materials, MASH scholarships, support of Arkansas FFA and 4-H, sponsoring local events, and donations to other charitable organizations. Through our efforts, we have had the opportunity to impact lives in every county in the state. We believe by investing in local communities, we will improve the lives of Arkansas families. Help us ensure the future of agriculture and the rural way of life by donating today.
The work of the Arkansas Farm Bureau Foundation is so important across the state. If you've not taken the time to learn about the work that they do, you can do so at arfb.com. All right, on to the last bit of news for today's show. The USDA released last Friday 2 significant reports regarding grain supply and planting projections. The quarterly grain stocks report is survey-based, as you may know. The prospective planting report is also survey-based, but only published annually. So we've got a quarterly report here and an annual report that we're going to talk about. So this data is meant to give a realistic view of grain inventory. Let's break this out by commodity, and we'll cover some of the data in these reports. For corn stocks, as of March 1st, corn stocks were projected down 5% for the previous year, and farmers are estimated to plant 4% more corn this year over last. Looking at soybeans, stocks were estimated down 13% on March 1st of this year over the same date in 2022. USDA projects that soybean planting will be on pace with last year, with the possibility of a slight increase, but not a lot of weight leaning in there.
All right.
On wheat, USDA data shows that stocks are down 8% over last year and project an increase of 9% in planting this year. And moving on to cotton, USDA sees planting projections fall 18% over last year, but the projection is still higher than the projection they made in the February cotton outlook by about 350,000 acres. So down over last year, but higher than we thought it would be this year.
Yeah.
We relied on American Farm Bureau's Brent Nelson for the analysis on these reports. Brent notes that it's a tough time of year to evaluate crop markets, albeit with the weather changes adds to that complexity. Not only are there weather concerns here in Arkansas, as we know, but in the Dakotas and the upper Midwest as well, including cooler temperatures and wet conditions. We'll continue tracking the quarterly stock report and, of course, our own planning progress here in the state, as we mentioned at the top of the show.
All right.
I think the videos that we're putting out that you mentioned earlier certainly are going to help with that. Those are going to be with each of the crop specialists, and they'll be able to tell us what we're expecting from a planning perspective.
Definitely.
And obviously insight on how we are on the timing.
The insiders that they're always putting out, they're going to continue to update us on stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, like we said, we've tried to be abbreviated today. I know we have still taken a good amount of time. In the interest of that, you're giving me a little bit of reprieve.
You seem to be breathing really well right now. So, I mean.
Well, I am.
I thought about texting Mac while we were in here and just say, hey, I've got a riddle for you. Just to see if he'd reply.
His palms would have been sweating immediately.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Oh, my goodness. He did say, I hear you guys are going on with the show, but next time I require you put a cardboard printout of my face.
We may have to do that.
We'll see about that.
I will find a flattering pose. So.
Yeah, there we go. All right. That wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen. Remember, you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon. Find video episodes on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to the audio version on iTunes or Spotify. And make sure to subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes. Those really do help. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown, and we will see you next week.